Hiya, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Heather.
And we're physiotherapists at Response Physio. Today we're going to be talking about football and ankle injuries involved in playing football. So we're going to specifically talk about lateral ankle sprains, which are when you roll over on your ankle, on the outside of your ankle there. What's going to happen is you're going to get small tears or large tears around the ligaments in your ankle. And this can take anywhere generally up to around 6 weeks to settle.
Today we're going to be looking at the 3 different phases of ankle rehabilitation, early, middle and late stage. And we're going to be focusing on football, so trying to get some range of motion back at the ankle, looking at balance, improving ankle strength and improving the strength of the rest of the leg so that we're ready to get back to sport.
So during a lateral ankle sprain, we're going to damage the ligaments on the outside of our ankle. So when we're playing football, for example, if we might be changing direction quickly, say going from right to left, if we don't have the stability in our ankle, or if we have a tackle, for example, our ankle might go into this sort of position. This is called inversion of the ankle. And as you go into that position quite quickly, we can stress the ligaments on the outside of our ankle, causing little tears or significant tears on that side. So initially what you're going to experience is quite a lot of pain on the outside of your ankle. You might get some significant swelling and bruising around that side of your ankle over the next sort of 24 hours. In this period, what we want to do is try and reduce that swelling, try and maintain the range of movement in our ankle and keep everything as strong as we can. That's why we try and ice everything as much as we can over a sort of 24-hour, 48-hour period to reduce that swelling, keep up with as much movement as we can of the ankle and try and gently load it as best we can. So next we're just going to show you a few different ankle range of movement exercises and strengthening exercises and balance to try and combat that. So once this sort of initial stage of swelling and pain has settled itself down, the next thing we want to try and do is improve balance on the ankle. So the ligaments on the ankle and around the outside of the ankle are quite important for maintaining balance and support. So if these are injured at all, what we want to try and do is promote that balance again. So what Heather's going to do next is she's just going to try and stand on one leg. We can do this as often as we can throughout the day when you're brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil, anything like that. But what we want to try and do is try and get a good amount of stability around the ankle. We also just want to have a bit of an awareness that we're not putting too much weight through the big toe. So if Heather can try and lift her big toe off the floor, that's going to improve the sort of stability and activate all the muscles on the outside of her ankle here, rather than relying on joints.
So if we've sprained the ligaments on the outside of our ankle, we also know that the muscles going alongside it can spasm and weaken, and sometimes they can have a delayed reaction time after your injury. We want to try and strengthen these muscles, and we can do it with a band. So Jamie's going to put the band around his feet, and moving from the ankle joint, he's going to turn his foot outwards and slowly control it back inwards, avoiding the spring of the band so that these muscles are constantly working. He's going to avoid using his leg to roll out and just isolate the movement of his foot. So now we'll move on to the second phase of ankle rehabilitation, looking at some more advanced exercises for the ankle.
In this second phase, we're going to go onto the football pitch, so we'll see you outside.
So we're now moving on to the next phase of the rehabilitation, where we're looking more at weight-bearing strength and using Jamie's whole leg. We're going to do a next balance exercise called a star balance exercise. Jamie's going to stand on his affected leg, and using the opposite leg, he's going to tap round in a circular motion, challenging the stability of that ankle. He's going to make sure his weight's in his heel, and he's lifting the big toe again. To progress balance further and to make it a bit more sport specific, we're going to do a balance drill but with the football. So Jamie's going to balance on his affected leg again, and he's just going to kick the ball back to me.
So when looking at a lateral ankle sprain, we also want to address all the muscles, joints involved in the lower limb. So what we're also going to do is strengthen everything around the sort of glute area as well. So what Heather's going to do, she's going to pop a band around her feet, bend her knees a little bit, and then slowly she's going to move her leg out towards the side and slowly control it with the other leg. As she goes to one side, and then back towards the other side. This is going to create stability around the hips improve glute strength.
Now we want to look at the calf strength. So Jamie's going to start by doing calf raises. We'll start with some support. He's going to lift as high as he can onto his toes. And then moving on, we're going to do that without support. So he's going to keep going, trying to control that motion at his ankle. We'll then move on to some lunges into a calf raise. So he's going to step back with the opposite leg and then lift back up into that calf raise. And then the final stage is going to be looking at hopping. So Jamie's going to bounce on the one leg, first of all in one spot, controlling his movement, and then moving on to progress to sideways jumping, mimicking a little bit more what he'd be doing if he was playing football, and then also moving forward, back, and side to side. So the final stage we're going to look at is the end stage of rehabilitation, and we're looking more at sport-specific drills and football for Jamie. The demands of the ankle when we're playing football is that it needs to be able to change direction quickly, to cut, pivot, and to push off to create power. So we're going to demonstrate that in some of these drills. The first exercise, Jamie's going to stand within the square, and we're just going to shout a number of the cone at him. He's going to have to change direction really quickly and then come back to the middle and balance. So we start with 1, 3, 2, and balance, 2, 3, balance. We can progress this further by adding in the football, making it more sport specific. So we're going to do the same thing, but Jamie's going to dribble the ball throughout. 2, 3, 4, balance, 1, and we can vary these drills, working in more of a linear pattern or side to side directional.
So in today's video, we've looked at football and more specifically lateral ankle sprains during football. We've talked about the different stages involved in the healing process and different exercises that you can combine in those stages to improve your ankle recovery. We must stress that this is just a glimpse of what we'd be involved in over the rehabilitation process, and it'd be really good if we could get you involved weekly or every other week to assess and make sure everything's going in the right direction, progress or regress any of these different things to make sure that you get back to sport quickly and safely.
Ideally, we'd want to tailor your rehab plan to the individual, so we could look at what's happening further up the chain around the hips and the core, and maybe look at any risk factors that have led to the injury in the first place. So booking an appointment with a physiotherapy would be helpful to prevent future injuries. If you did want any help, you can book in with Response Physiotherapy and they can do a full assessment for you.
If you've enjoyed our video today and have found it useful, there are many other videos that we've created on different topics, and each month we'll go through a different topic. So please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram to make sure you're up to date with all of the new videos that we post. Thank you.
Bye.